In Grandma's Attic, Chapter 21, Grandma and the Gun. I had been reading one of my books to Grandma while she worked. The story was about the pilgrims who carried guns to church to protect them from wild animals. Grandma, I said, did your father have to carry a gun to church when you were little? Mercy, no, Grandma laughed. I'm not quite that old. There were still wild animals around our place, but they didn't often come out where there were people. Pa and the boys had guns for hunting, but they didn't need them between our house and town. Did you ever go hunting, Grandma? I asked. No, Grandma said, I didn't go hunting with the boys. In fact, there was only one time I ever had a gun in my hands, and that was almost a disaster. Tell me about it, I said eagerly. Well, said Grandma, I was about 9 years old. Reuben was 13, and he had just gotten his first gun. He was mighty proud of it, and neither Roy nor I was allowed to breathe on it, let alone touch it. This evening, Reuben and Pa had just come home from hunting, and we had finished supper. Pa was sitting by the door, reading the Bible, and Reuben was starting his homework at the table. Ma said to me, Mabel, would you rather sweep the floor or wash the dishes tonight? Of course, given a choice like that, I would rather sweep the floor. I went out to the porch to get the broom. Mabel, Reuben called, close the door, it's cold in here. I hadn't intended to be out there very long, but I went back and shoved the door shut. This may have been the thing that saved our family from tragedy that night. I don't know, but I do know the Lord had his hand on us all. Grandma paused to get another pan of apples. I turned to get the broom, and there, standing beside it, was Reuben's new gun. Well, I thought to myself, old Bossy made me shut the door. Now he can't see me. He won't know that I touched his gun. As quietly as I could, I picked up the gun and rubbed the smooth barrel. Since I had never held one before, I was curious to see what Pa always looked through when he held it up to his eye. I turned toward the light from the kitchen and held the gun up to my face. I don't know what happened, but somehow I pulled the trigger and that gun jumped back and hit me in the jaw. I went sprawling on the porch, and that was the last I remembered until I awoke in the house some time later. Ma told me what had happened in the kitchen. The bullet came through the door and whizzed past Pa's head. Splinters from the wooden door stuck in his hair. Ma had just decided that the dishwater was not hot enough and had turned to carry it back to the stove. The bullet hit the table where she had been standing. Reuben had gotten up to get a book, and the bullet went through the back of the chair he had been sitting in. It had all happened so fast that for a moment everyone forgot that I was still outside. Pa rushed out to the porch and carried me in. My face was covered with blood. When they decided I hadn't been killed but just had some teeth knocked loose, Ma's mood changed from one of fear to indignation. I declare, she exclaimed, I should tan that child for a trick like that. We could all have been killed. No, Ma, said Reuben. It was my fault. I should have put the gun away. Supper was ready when we got home, and I forgot it afterward. I'm the one you should tan. It was my fault too, said Pa. I should have taught Mabel how to handle a gun. She just doesn't know how dangerous they are. I suppose I could strap you all, said Ma in disgust. But Mabel is old enough to know better than that. If she ever gets over being so thoughtless, it will be a miracle. Ma didn't spank me, Grandma concluded. I guess she thought my black and blue face was punishment enough. But I have never had much interest in guns since then, I can tell you. Grandma laughed. The Lord was good to us to protect my family from me.